So this is the main entrance to Arcadia Earth at the well. Basically, this is where you'll check in, you'll get your iPad if necessary. You can also download the app on your phone. We're going to go in a second and check out what this is all about.
Welcome back to Why We Buy It. Today we want to talk about one of Toronto's newer attractions, Arcadia Earth.
Yeah, we decided we check this out, and it's located at the sort of indoor-outdoor plaza called The Well, which is at Spadina in front. It's one of the newest sort of growing shopping centers, so to speak, in Toronto, and there's been a lot going on there. I'm sure you've probably heard about it from other YouTubers in the Toronto area, but they have
a lot of restaurants.
Yeah, they have this art installation called Arcadia Earth, which is like an interactive art installation. It involves both virtual reality, augmented reality, and of course, artistic expression. And it's all based on saving the planet.
Yeah. So when we first walked in, I don't really know what I was expecting. I really didn't. I knew it was to make you aware of issues and everything that was going on with the environment and maybe ways of saving the environment or changing the way you think about how to reduce, reuse, and recycle, right? But I wasn't quite sure how they were going to put it in art form. And when we walked in, it really took me by surprise.
Yeah, and it wasn't really about trying to teach you how to do things properly. It was more about just making you aware of what's happening and maybe which animals and the land and crops are being affected by things that we're doing. But the actual art installation themselves really surprised me.
So one of the things you can use while you're at Arcadia Earth is you either use your cell phone,
which I did,
or they can provide you a tablet and it downloads an app
called the Arcadia Earth app. It's pretty simple to find.
Yeah, and what it essentially does is it allows you to go around the exhibit, and they have little circles on the floor or on the wall that you hold your phone or hold your tablet up to. You click the circle on your tablet or your phone, and an image will pop up. And it could be of anything. It could be of a plant or an animal, and it'll give you a description on, what might have happened to that creature.
Generally with some additional graphics and such that go along with it. So maybe you scan an image on the floor of a whale, and then you'll see a whale quite literally swimming through an ocean in front of you.
Yeah.
That's translucent, so you still see the art exhibit around you, but you get to see this, and then it'll have some
additional information,
blurbs and such, so you can read to find out about it more precisely.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share images of this with you during the video, but it's kind of cool. It almost works like a QR code, really. Instead of going to a website, it just brings up the information immediately with the graphics and that to go along with it. And as adults, it was cool to see, and you get the information from it. But if you have kids, it's also very entertaining.
It's entertaining, and it makes them aware without knowing that they're getting, aware.
Yeah, it's like subliminal messaging, really, because they're probably not going to pay as much attention as we do or read the blurbs that come up.
No,
but you'll be able to read between the lines.
Yeah, and they ask the questions, which I really appreciated, because I watched the kids and I saw them on the tablet and I was like, are they really going to get it? And then they're like, Mom, why is it like this?
Yeah.
And then it forces the mom to read what's going on and explain it to the kid, what's happening. And I was like, that's awesome.
And something I was unaware of is that there are multiple rooms, and each room has its own sort of feel and form of art that's being used. I thought it was all kind of designed by one group, but really it's like an individual artist does each room, and that's why each room can feel so completely different from the last, which is one of the things I kind of liked about it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you've got kids and you're thinking about what am I going to do when I come downtown, the two newest options, we've been to both of them, and we've done a review of the other one on the channel, which is Little Canada, which was amazing.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Right, we've gone multiple times.
I was a little kid at Little Canada. It was a lot of fun.
Right, so that's worth it. This is worth it too, but I think if it's mostly kid-focused, I think Little Canada is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right, I think it's a little bit better. One, because it's more wide open. Okay, there are only a couple of rooms within Arcadia Earth that are very wide open that can sort of accept a large group of people.
Yeah.
Whereas at Little Canada, practically every room is pretty wide open, so you have some space if you got kids that want to run around.
But I did find they held, like, it almost felt like they held us back a little bit.
Yeah.
For each room to make sure that there wasn't too much overcrowding. But I'm like, if it becomes like a very popular day, or if there's like maybe a school event or something, I'm like, I can see it getting extremely busy.
And it could be slow going.
Yeah.
To get through there. So
Yeah.
that's something you might want to look at. But if it's, if you're just a couple, I think Arcadia Earth might be better, right? If you have kids that are really into like virtual reality and that
Oh my
sort of
God, they'll
thing,
love it.
They'll eat it up.
Yeah.
So maybe specifically for kids like that would be more suitable. But what I like about both of those exhibits is that you learn at
So
both of them.
much. Yeah.
Right? You can learn so
Yeah,
much
like
from both of them.
Little Canada, you learn about Canada, right? They have their little fun game that they play. You can watch the video. We talked all about it. And with like Arcadia Earth, it's kind of like a zoo, where it's like there's so many different exhibits, but like of animals.
Yeah, a virtual
right?
zoo.
So it's cool. It's cool.
And they make it specific to Canada, too. There are some exhibits that tell you specifically these are the endangered animals in Canada. And Arcadia Earth isn't a one-place show. There are a number of locations that are opening up around the world, and I'm sure that they will kind of tune them to wherever they are.
That would make sense.
So we got to see, which whales were endangered in Canada, which
bees.
river animals are endangered in Canada. So it was kind of cool to see that and to see why they're endangered and find out why and if there's anything you can do about it.
Yeah.
Some of the exhibits were a bit extreme, I would say, or like the garbage dump exhibits and such.
No, but they proved a point.
They're making a point.
They made a
they're
point.
hitting you with an image,
Right.
And it could be a bit extreme for some people, but I mean, not for me, but for some people it could be. But there are also some rooms that are basically just looped videos.
Yeah.
That are being projected across all the walls, and again, we'll show you some video of this, that feel so immersive when you're in it.
Yeah.
That we spent longer in those rooms than I expected.
Yeah.
I expected those rooms to be the dull rooms, to tell you the truth.
No, they
and I
were
was in
fun.
there for a while.
Yeah, because, you didn't really want to miss anything because it's the four walls that have an image going. You're kind of like, oh.
And they'll put messages on different walls at different times.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to keep looking around and seeing what's going on, which was cool. I mean, a lot of it was very well done. There was one thing that was available to us that I did not do, and they have the nets room, which is a room of like hammocks and such
Made
that
of
have all been created from nets
that have been
salvaged
found,
from the bottom of the ocean and
Yeah.
such. And they're like, "You want to sit in the nets?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want to sit in the nets." The idea of sitting in something that's been sitting dormant on the bottom of the ocean kind of irked me, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Right? So I stayed away from that. Not my thing. Could be yours, but there was lots of those interactive
But it was also
exhibits within
but
it.
that was also to make you aware of how much trash is left in the bottom of our oceans, right?
And how these nets are affecting whales are dying because they're getting caught in them and things like that.
Fish are dying, like everything dies because they get caught and then they can't do anything. They're stuck,
And
right?
in a lot of these rooms, they come up with alternative ways of continuing the fishing industry in this situation, but not using those kind of nets and the like. So it's a really cool exhibit. It was really enjoyable to go through. I think we got our money's worth by far. We got a deal. We bought in on the Good Friday deal, so we got a 25% discount on it. But I'm sure there are deals that come up during the course of the year. But there was one spot that didn't quite work for me, and it wasn't that great for you either. And that's one of the last things available to you just before you reach the end of Arcadia Earth.
It's totally optional. I just wanted to see it for myself.
You have a VR experience.
Yeah.
It's a little room off to the side just before you get to the end of the
exit.
And you can slap on some VR goggles and sort of look around a jungle and see the animals and their habitat and that sort of thing. It was very blurry for me because I was wearing my traditional glasses. If you've seen some of our previous videos, you'll know that I have both close-up vision and
so it didn't work for
intermediate
you.
vision glasses. With these glasses, it was kind of blurry. And even Amy said it was kind of blurry.
No,
so
it
might not even been my glasses.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been their VR glasses. Like, they were just blurry.
And honestly, the fact that it's last, after seeing the interactive displays, the augmented reality...
It's kind of like, it was cool.
It's cool because it's VR, but I've done VR.
Yeah.
In a lot of different places, and it's just not as cool as the rest of Arcadia.
I just feel that, to me, that's a kid thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the kids like to put on the big goggles and look around and be like, oh, there's a snake, oh, there's a orangutan, there's a crocodile or whatever. So it was cool for them.
Yeah, even though
Right?
we're big kids, it didn't quite work
Didn't do
out
it
for us.
But I am going to tell you my favorite room.
Okay.
I am going to tell you my favorite room. There is a room where it highlights bees. Never thought. I would never think in a million years that I'd be so excited about bees and how they lived and what we're doing to hurt their habitat. But each display was almost like a honeycomb in the shape of a nose. And behind it, it gave off the scent that bees give.
Depending on the type of bee,
Depending on the type
what
of
kind
bee
of honey they're making,
and
that sort of thing.
what flower they pollinate from. And I was like, and every single one, I was like, wow, like that's the smell. Like I recognized every single one of them, and I was like, my coat. He's like,
Yeah,
what? And I was like, and I'm like,
she's huffing them. She was just huffing all day.
But it's like it just hit my senses, and I was like, I know this smell. Like I smell it every time we go for our walks. And he goes, yeah. So like that room really resonated with me, and
it does have some of the best augmented reality exhibits too.
Yeah, it was
for
really
me.
cool.
The best room for me is actually I think it's the second room you enter,
yeah,
which is a long corridor that has this. It's like a half dome display that runs the length of the corridor with mirrors on either end, so it looks even longer than it is. And it's literally built-in screens to make you feel like you're underwater or at the side of a brook or whatever with the animals that are endangered in those particular habitats. And it changes continuously.
Yeah, I think
we were in there for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah, like it's a 6-minute rotation, so you get I think 3 minutes of day and 3 minutes of night.
In different places.
And then you get to see the nocturnal animals and then the animals that go during the day, which was really freaking cool.
And I'm really into like home theater design and that sort of thing. It's like that's my background, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So the way they developed it, the way they designed it is seamless. It was fantastic, absolutely amazing, and right there was worth the price of admission for me.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
If this is something you've heard about, and you probably have if you're from the Toronto area because it pops up in everybody's social media feeds.
Yeah, they're hammering it right now.
Right? You might want to give it a try. And I don't think you'll be disappointed because there's a lot to see and do, and whether
there's
you
something
have kids
for everybody.
or don't,
Yeah, there's something for everybody, which is really cool. But guys, we did put up our join
membership program, the membership side of our channel.
Yeah.
Like always, you can like and subscribe for absolutely free.
Which we still love.
We
Thank
totally
you.
appreciate that. But if you want to give back and you want to see some of the additional content we're creating, which isn't just topical to what we talk about on the free side of the Why We Buy
a little bit of
YouTube
everything.
channel, we're going to add stuff that doesn't fall under our typical travel, watches, and bargain hunting purview. So if you want to see a little bit more and get to maybe know us a little bit more, consider joining as a member. You can join as a super fan or an Uber fan. Super fan's very, very affordable for anyone. So if you want to give back a little bit and help us kind of build this channel, which has been building quickly,
thank you.
we really appreciate it.
Till next time. Bye, guys.
Till next time.